Conversation after conversation, it becomes clearer and clearer that young people don't feel as though they have a place within society. Whether it's a little prep student that watches on from the side of a playground because someone has told them that they don't want to be friends, or a teenager who continues to live in confusion because every friend group they join just doesn't feel right. An overwhelmed university student trying to work up the courage to introduce themselves to a person in their class, or a new employee in a workplace common room feeling out of place because everyone already has their group of work friends and they feel as though they're intruding. Maybe you are like or are one of the young persons I've described. Whether you relate to the little preppy or the new employee, or you know a similar young person, this is a problem that impacts our society. Good morning, my name is Abby Stapleton, I'm 17 and I'm from the Gold Coast. I'm very passionate about helping young people, and specifically, I want all young people to feel as though they have a place within society and that they have people who support and value them. I would love to see all youth feel as though they belong to a community. Because of this, I am beyond excited to be speaking at the Youth Summit today. So many young people don't feel valued. So many young people don't feel as though they have a place where they belong. So many young people don't feel as though they have a place in society. Why? As a society, I feel as though we frequently say that we should feel valued, but we never explicitly discuss what it means to feel valued. One cause of this problem is the lack of conversation around how to know if you're valued. More than this is how diluted the general sense of self-worth is for young people. Often, as teenagers, we tend to put too much emphasis on external validation to internal validation because we struggle with navigating relationships. This probably has a basis in trying to navigate your intrinsic self-worth with the worth that others assign to you. So what can we do about it? We need to see the self-worth of young people improve. Young people need to be able to identify positive relationships and signs of negative relationships so that more young people feel like they belong. What does this look like? There are two streams of solutions: the actions of individuals and the actions of state leaders and decision makers. When looking at individuals' actions, I take the perspective of what has personally worked for me. I think you have to be okay with not fitting in and choosing to be your own person. You have to trust that you will find the right people, even if it's difficult. A general rule I've taken to living by is to evaluate my feelings after social situations. Preferably when we're surrounded by others, we leave the interaction feeling uplifted, energized, understood, and generally positive. I take this as a sign that who I'm surrounded by is treating me as an individual that has value within me and see me as a person that has worth. As young people, it isn't uncommon to overlook the interactions that we leave feeling rather pessimistic, drained, overwhelmed, and generally negative. If this is the case, most times you're with a person, it's often a sign that your value isn't being entirely recognized within that relationship. When we continue to participate in such interactions, it's not surprising that our self-worth tends to decline. This is one way of identifying positive and negative relationships that's worked really well for me. It can be hard to implement through its dependency on you being able to set boundaries and walk away from or distance yourself from unfulfilling friendships, which requires recognizing your self-worth. Working on your self-esteem might look like journaling, meditating, practicing affirmations, exercising, or engaging in activities that you like as you spend time with yourself. It looks different for everyone. Now, for state leaders and decision makers, your actions will be a little less direct because this is ultimately an issue that requires individual action, but you can be a conduit for change. 1. Facilitating events that allow young people to meet new people is a great first step that allows individuals to take those measures. The great news is that you already do this within some capacities. An event just like this is a great way to network. It would be great if we had more events that had different focuses. 2. Create workshops that teach young people about self-worth and how they can help themselves. Provide resources for this, for young people as well. Share these resources with schools and universities and put them in public buildings. You could even work with young people to design these resources so that it appeals to the target audiences. 3. Organise or provide funding for schools to have experts come and speak to young people about how to improve their self-worth and different things that they can try to find a place where they belong. What does this achieve? If young people have better self-esteem, and they have the better capacity to recognize whether a relationship is fulfilling or not, then they have the internal resources to make efforts towards finding places where they belong. They will have the confidence to try different things and to find a place where they belong. If we have more young people that are happier and mentally healthier, then we create more positive spaces in our society, and those young people have better opportunity to show up to their spaces and contribute. Young people, there is a place for you. If it's not where you currently are, then please have the courage to find it. Even if it means stepping out of your comfort zone and going to an event like this to meet new people. Really look at your relationships and see if they're fulfilling you like you want them to. There is a place for you, you just have to continue to look for it. State leaders, make commitments to being a conduit for change. Facilitate events of all kinds and advertise them. Create workshops and resources that are centered around improving young people's self-esteem. Have experts included in the conversation and bring these conversations to young people. We can do better, we know better, so let's act better. Thank you.